So a couple months ago, I had a really cool idea of building a restaurant in The Sims 4 because one, I love food, and two, my Sims need to be social because they're all introverted like me. But I didn't really know what theme I wanted to do. So I got reached out by Firehouse Sub to build a firehouse station converted into an industrial themed restaurant in Newcrest, but in The Sims 4. And I'm like, wait, I love food, I love Sims 4, and also it gives me an excuse to use all the new items that we got in The Sims lately. So I built one and here it is. So when Firehouse Up reached out to me to build this restaurant, I was like, wait, that's a really cool idea. Sign me up. I love food and I love building. And so with that, they put me on the front page of Twitch. And if you don't know what that means, basically it's just twitch.tv and there's like a carousel of streams at the very top of the page with a bunch of streams. And I was on there. And let me tell you, it is very intimidating to be on that because there's so many eyes on you, but it doesn't mean that they're actively chatting in your stream. But with all those eyes, it was like very nerve-wracking and crazy, but also relaxing because I got to have the opportunity to spread love, kindness, and positivity of the Spring Squad and just in general, and also my love of food. So with building restaurants in The Sims 4, there's a game pack called Dine Out, and we've had it for a very long time, but it's also very glitchy at times too, because my Sims never go out to any community lots of any kind, because they're introverted, and so I am, and I don't like going anywhere at all. I don't leave my apartment that much, so my Sims don't leave their own house at all. Basically, life imitates art, and I love that. But the really cool thing about restaurants that I find really cool IRL, but also in The Sims, is that you're able to count down to the new year and celebrate with friends, family, whoever it might be, have wedding anniversaries, weddings actually, birthday parties, whatever it might be. You get to go to a restaurant, enjoy food, and hang out with people that you are close to and being able to just like commemorate the moments. So I wanted to build something industrial because that's what Firehouse Sub, suggested and gave me an idea that wait, we had a recent pack come out called the Werewolf Pack and had a lot of like grungy industrial themed items that I've never got a chance to use. And so I used a bunch of like werewolves, Strangerville, city living, I think also some vampire stuff as well. But I really wanted to keep it solely very like city based, and I would have built this in like San Myshuno, but I just didn't like the atmosphere. Plus the lighting is very bad in certain angles of that world, and I just didn't want to build there. But you could put this build pretty much anywhere you want, and it would fit very well in San Myshuno or in Moonwood Mill. And I just don't know. I really want to be able to try and run a restaurant fully from 1 star to 5 stars with bot pancakes because bot pancakes is literally an absolute gloomy, loony, introverted legend that we all know and love and some hate, which I don't understand. But Bob Pancakes is like my favorite sim in the game, and I want to be able to like do a let's play for the sole reason to run a restaurant with the mod by Carl Sim4 Guide, who made an entire like revamped mod of Dine Out, where you can basically run your restaurant as a chef. And I think that's so cool. I've been watching my friends James Turner and Dr. Gluon do it on Twitch and on YouTube of like their playthrough of being the bros running a restaurant together. And I think it's so cool that the way they did it is super interactive and also kind of funny at the same time. Now, with restaurants, I don't know about you, but I love going to this one restaurant for the sole reason because it's like a bar and, wings and fries and people. It's called Buffalo Wild Wings or called BB Dubs. Either way, I don't drink. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm a loony loon kid here who drinks water, apple juice, and tea. Now, I love wings more than anything, and I don't think I actually put wings on the menu, and I probably should have. Either way, with the sole purpose of Dine Out, you can build your own restaurant however you want from the ground up, from being a one level, little restaurant to 3 stories with a basement with whatever you wanted, but you can build your own menu. And I find that so, so, so cool that you can build your own menu however you want. Make it all vegan or vegetarian or lactose free or all breakfast or all dinner or all desserts. Like it's so well versed on what you can do. And I feel like with Dine Out, there could be so many good opportunities where it can be refreshed and revamped to be better. Like I would love the idea where you can basically pass down your restaurant deed to your kids or to some random stranger that you just want to sell it to just for the sole purpose of like whatever you want to do, or having the option to do like training for your employees, like your chefs or your waiters or your hostess, but also having the opportunity to like have them have a break room where they can go on a break. Because in the Sims 2 for Open for Business, that was really really amazing and well thought out, is that you could have your employees like take breaks, and then you can also like send them home early if you want to, or have them come back. And I think it's like the little things that I really miss about the whole like running a business part, that I was fascinated by like The Sims 2 mainly and The Sims 3 a little bit, that I wish we had in The Sims 4. And I want to do a whole video dedicated to like why Dine Out needs a better like refresh. Like it's like Dine Out has so much potential, and I think there's like so many things you can do with it, but you just don't have the certain opportunities to do it all. And I don't know about you, but I've been playing out Dine Out for years, and I had one family that I created so long ago, and I don't know if half of you all remember, but I had a family called the De Lusso family, a German Italian family based in Windenburg, and it was like really something. I was like so into that gameplay and that family. I'm with the 5 generations right now. I haven't played them in like years, but like I miss them kind of, and I want to like bring them back. Like I really miss like my old families I used to play, just like either in videos or just like by myself. And I've never really got to share those like stories with you all. So when I played that family, the De Lusso family, they ran a restaurant in Windenburg, like a very Italian, German centric home, and they had their own restaurant like nearby. And so when they had, run their business, it was like up to like 3.5 stars until like it got burned in a fire and they had to shut down and move. So it was like a lot of like big ups and downs with, running a restaurant. I was still learning how to build, learning how to do gameplay, but also learning how to run a restaurant properly. So it was like, how do I do this right? So I've learned that never go with a high quality, like don't do rush hour at the very start, because that's just like not what you need to do. Always start small with the basic, items on your menu with little options, but high quality food if you can afford it, and then work your way up to, the bigger and better stuff. So that is what I've learned over the course of the years. Start small and then go big if you can do it. Because eventually what's going to happen is that we're going to get a refresh one day. Who knows when? I mean, the only refresh we had was Spa Day, and that was pretty cool. That was very nice. But my Sims don't go anywhere. And I love food, and I would love for them to refresh Dine Out. So my petition right here, right now, can we get a refresh for Dine Out, please? And thank you. Patent pending of my presentation in PowerPoint coming soon to a screen near you on YouTube in the new year of 2023. Probably in January or February. Just don't know just yet, but it's gonna happen. Either way, I'm rambling. Can you tell? It is New Year's Eve basically, and I'm generally like this, just chaotic and weird in person, but also online. So it's just not me being loopy and lack of sleep. It's mainly just my energy is what it is. But let me know in the comments below, do you have Dine Out? But also, have you run a restaurant before in the game to fully enjoy the restaurant experience? And if you have, what kind of restaurant have you built? And I remember so long ago, my friend, little Simsy, Kayla Sims, born for The Sims, literally made, I believe, a vegetarian restaurant. I forget what it was called, but it's on her gallery page. And I thought it was so cool that everything was vegetarian. And then, of course, over the years, The Sims, like Cottage Living, brought in lactose intolerant Sims, lactose-free meals. And, we've got Cool Kitchen with like ice cream. And then we also have, Dine Out with the full food. But I've noticed that every time we get a new pack, there's always like new foods introduced. And like Snowy Escape brought in like new cultural type, Asian type foods. And then of course, with new holiday updates, we have like Indian food that I think is really cool. Like it's so wild that The Sims has all this food that my Sims can't cook. But also it's kind of cool that they can't cook half the stuff, because usually, Sims will start fires if you don't do anything. They'll like fire and you're like, no, you said yes, and then they do it. But I just like designing restaurants because like the layouts are all different and you can really make your it's like your home. It's like your child. Like you built this restaurant from the ground up and you had your like your little starter funds and you had your two little Sims, like just really making their dreams come true. And something that I would love to see for a refresh and dine out is being able to live in your restaurant. Like think of the show Bob's Burgers on Hulu and Fox. That show's been going on for 84 years. Not really, but it's been going on a long time. Still highly entertaining, but they live in their restaurant. They live upstairs and they run their restaurant downstairs. They build, they make burgers, fries, all those things. And I think that's so cool. And I want to do like a whole Let's Play solely on running a restaurant. And I think I said this before in the beginning or not, but I want to run a restaurant where I use the Live in Business mod by Little Miss Sam, where I can live in my restaurant, like live upstairs and work downstairs. But then also use Carl Sims for Guides mod, where I can work as a chef. So like, there's so many things I want to do that I want to make Bob's Burgers dream like restaurant. So like basically make Bob's Burgers in The Sims, but run it as Bob Pancakes, who makes pancakes and burgers. So I'm gonna do that, and it's gonna be really cool, and I'm very excited. But lo and behold, there's just like the creativity of building a restaurant is so open-ended. Like if you want to build something industrial, you could. If you want to build something modern, you could. Something classy and selective and bougie, you could. Where only the richest sins of Judith Ward on her selective list could join. And I've always wanted to have like my Sims join some type of like cooking club and being able to like run, I don't know, like classes. Because with The Sims 2 free time, I always go back to The Sims 2 because that game is like my ride or die. But The Sims 2 had free time where you can do like cooking competitions and learn how to cook or be judged from your cooking. And I wish we had that with like seasons or actual dine out. Like that would have been so cool. But of course we do have food critics that come to the restaurant every once in a while with dine out, so they are technically judging your food. But I would love for others to participate in that judging era. So one day, if they ever do a refresh, I would love to see that. Basically, this is my whole petition of having a refresh of Dine Out, please and thank you. Like, let me know in the comments below. What are some things you would love to see in a Dine Out refresh? Because this will probably give the Sims team ideas of what they could do for next time. But lo and behold, this restaurant was definitely a lot of fun to build. I will do a real-time tour, as I always do, and I want to show you the full like build of what I did, because I did cut out a few things that took way too long, like me deciding like what wallpaper, what flooring, what items did I want to use. But it's pretty much self-explanatory. It's a one chef, one waiter, one hostess type of restaurant, and it gives you the option to expand if you want to and make it bigger, add like another extra step to your restaurant outside or inside, whatever you want to do. Take out a few tables, build the wall out a little bit more or in more. You can do what you want. But either way, let's go ahead and go into the real-time tour of this Firehouse Industrial Restaurant. So when I tell you this is my favorite restaurant I've ever built in my entire life, I truly mean it, because one, I love food, 2, I love debug, and 3, Twitch chat helped me tremendously with this build in under 4 hours, and let me tell you, we did a great job. But those 3 will forever be my ride or die, and that's on period. But I wanted to build something different and do something that was out of my comfort zone, and I'm glad that Firehouse Sub suggested an industrial themed restaurant, and I was like, wait, that's a really good idea. So I did a lot of like brick accents on the exterior and interior with a lot of clutter from like werewolves and high school years and the other packs that we have that have grungy type items. And so I went with like a metal roof on the outside and also the vents here for the industrial feel. And then I added in like these debug cars and containers and dumpsters and this truck here for like an idea that, you know, people work here. Like you have your hostess car, your waiter car, and then your chef car. And then this truck over here is like a symbol of like they're delivering something from like San Myshuno or Windenburg or whatever it might be. They're doing a delivery. And so it's like bring it around back. And so they brought it around back. So it's like a little like storytelling idea that I think is really cool. But as for the interior, I may have struggled a lot, but I got my point across in the end and I like what I did and I might do it again. But something that I noticed is that this sidewalk slab has cracks on it and I never really noticed that until now. Like I never look at those small little details of items half the time, but when I do, I'm truly amazed at the sheer quality of things in The Sims 4 or just Sims in general. But I love this entrance area because like it's weird and grungy and just crazy looking that it just screams like it's been through a lot, and it has. So I used a lot of like the werewolf pack and city living and the industrial loft kit for like this entrance area here for the 2 benches and the hallway table. And of course your hostess station, your little menu, ceiling fan if it gets hot. But I really love these lights that we got from the werewolf pack. It's very worn down and grungy. Like look at that. That's pretty cool. And then we also got these ceiling rails from the werewolf pack, this chain from Snowy Escape, the sign from Dine Out to tell you like what's on the menu for the day. But then in here we have where your chef makes all the food and prepares it. We have like some to-go bags over here from Zoomers for delivery. And I think it's like kind of cool. And of course it's kind of small and dinky, but you can always like expand it if you wanted to. Like if you wanted to like have another like chef station, you can always take out the little waiter stations over here and put them somewhere else in the facility to squeeze in another chef if need be. But for the bathroom, I feel like I did a good job on, just because it's something I don't put all of my effort into, but also it's something I'm willing to try and make look interesting. So instead of using the like generic toilets and the sinks, I would use a bathroom stall from Discovery University. I used a toilet plunger from Debug, a poster, towel dispensers, a speaker, fancy sinks, and a broom and dustpan, soap, and hand sanitizers. Now, personally, I think it's looking really nice and snazzy. It could be a little bit bigger, but I think for the size of the build, I wanted to keep it small and just like not busy, but get in and get out type of moment. But I also made this bathroom gendered neutral. That way all Sims can go into this bathroom and not feel confused of like, I can't go in here because of certain gender. But all Sims should be allowed to go into any bathroom they should. So I think going forward, I'm going to make bigger bathrooms and make them all gender neutral, because the way I play my Sims is having the walls like this, and I never see the doors and I never know what the icon is until my Sim complains. So gender neutral bathrooms are easier and better for all Sims, and it's going to be way easier going forward, I think, for a lot of people. I think so. Here's like the main area where you get all seated. You have like your island table with your TV over here, and then your TV over here. This is much more of a bigger TV than this one, I think. Yeah, same TV, but this one's smaller, and then this one's bigger. It's pretty much like simple on the first floor and second floor, to the extent of having rugs and fans and, you know, a fire extinguisher literally right at your table, which is kind of crazy. I also added in a TV over here, and of course, security cameras pretty much in every single angle. One upstairs. I got one downstairs somewhere around here. Where did I put it? There's not one in the main area? What's wrong with me? Well, your Sims gonna suffer somehow. At least we don't have burglars in The Sims 4, so your Sims will never get robbed. And that, my friends, is wonderful. But either way, as always, do let me know down in the comments below of what you thought of today's build, especially if you own Dine Out and built your own restaurant, because then we can struggle together. But lo and behold, we did the dang thing. We achieved what we wanted to achieve this year, the end of 2022, before we go into 2023. And let's make the next year a better year than before. But I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!